James, moving on to Saturday, a big one to start off the action, Blues Chiefs.
Yeah, those New Zealand derbies are always a good way to get the fires going in Super Rugby. I've got the Chiefs as quite a heavy title fancy this season. So not the easiest game for them to have to play an away derby as their starter. But they then go into a sequence of home games, also against other New Zealand sides, I think. And if they do win the Blues game, then I think the Chiefs will be set for a nice little early head of steam for the first sort of 3 or 4 rounds, and certainly be putting down quite a powerful marker for their title pedigree. I think Sonny Bill Williams is going to make a huge difference to that side. He'd make a huge difference to any side, really. Just that physical presence and those the sort of sleight of hand and everything. He's going to make a big difference to their attacking game, to their sort of that sort of defensive channel as well, between sort of 10 and 12, which is always very important in modern rugby. So I've got the Chiefs. I think not only will they win the first game, even though it's away, but I've got them as slight favourites to go all the way to the title this year.
Okay. And then in the afternoon, of course, the Sharks, Cheetahs often being the Sharks sort of bogey side. And then the big North-South derby at 7 o'clock, Bulls, Stormers.
Yeah, I can't wait for that Saturday afternoon. I'm glued to my couch for sure for 4 hours actually. As you say, the Cheetahs in the past have been a bit of a bogey side for the Sharks. The Sharks have poached a lot of Grey Bloom players in the past. That's no secret. But this Sharks team compared to the Cheetahs team that they've selected, there's a massive gulf, I think, in talent this time around. The Cheetahs, I've got them to finish last in the South African Conference and perhaps even 15th and last in the overall standings as well. They've just lost so many players. They've got old Joe Peterson from ex-Western Province via France at fly half. I'm not too sure how he's going to stack up against St. Patrick Lambie. Probably not very well. So I've got the Sharks to be fairly comfortable winners. We saw the Sharks win in Toulon, certainly not an easy place to travel, even though that was their only pre-season game, whereas the Cheetahs have lost to the Bulls in pre-season, haven't really looked that impressive. They've got old Heinrich Bassot back in the mix there, so he'll certainly add something. Valeri LaRue, they'll obviously look to him for inspiration. I'm not sure it's going to be enough for them to get across the line in many matches this year. If they win more than 4 or 5, I'd be quite surprised, actually, to be honest. But then the big game, as you said, North-South derby up in Pretoria, Bulls against the Stormers. I worry a little bit about the Stormers. I worry that Alice Coetzee in his last season as coach already is having signed for a Japanese club.
1 foot on the plane.
Absolutely. We've got so many players injured already before the first game for the Stormers. Alice Coetzee, I'm pretty sure, will just say to Saru whenever they want to rest players, he's happy to rest. His job is safe, if you like, next season already. So he's not going to lose his job if the Stormers do finish 3rd or 4th in the conference and sort of 9th or 10th overall. So I expect the Bulls to get off to a winning start. They're actually my outside bet to top the South African Conference and actually go quite far in this tournament. I think they're a better Super Rugby side than they are a Currie Cup side. Now, they were pretty woeful in the Currie Cup last season, but with Pollard there, Serfontaine playing, they've got some good players there. Matfield obviously will boss the lineouts no matter who he's up against. Some nice youngsters, some nice signings, Adrian Strauss, Trevor Nyakani in the front row. Even though they've lost a couple of players, I certainly think they're going to be too strong for Western Province. Again, because it's a local derby, everyone sort of knows how everyone else plays. I think it'll still be fairly close, but I'm going to give it to the Bulls by sort of that 4 to 7 point range.
Okay, Rob, what was your call on that one?
I think we're going to get a hugely entertaining derby first up. It's the perfect way to sort of kick off the weekend. I mean, any Bulls Stormers game sort of gets the juices flowing. North-South is still a big factor in South African rugby. I'm also inclined towards Bulls. I agree with Garen. I think that they may just have just a bit too much firepower. I think the big key was the Stormers taking quite a bad injury knock in their one of their pre-season hitouts where they lost Manuel Caridza, Eben Etzebeth and Cobus van Wyk all in one go. And Etzebeth in particular makes such a difference to their tight 5, and his absence from the Loftus game may even slightly tilt things. I might have marginally backed the Bulls anyway, but now I'm giving them a slightly more clear-cut advantage to take that game. That said, the Stormers have definitely got a puncher's chance at Loftus because they are painfully aware of how badly they started last season. That trip to Joburg where they were thumped by the Lions, didn't even get a losing bonus point, was a real comeuppance for them. So they will be very determined not for sort of lightning to strike twice, if you like, and for them to sort of return to the Highveld for an opening fixture again this season. And they'll be far more determined not to be, sort of come a cropper. And there's still enough quality in certain positions in that Stormers team for them to be very competitive against the Bulls. So if the Bulls are going to win it, I've only got them winning it by maybe 2 points. I think it could be very close, but hopefully we'll get a really sizzling game of rugby to sort of get the South African conference well and truly up and running.
Okay.